Welcome back to our third in our series of the new awareness. This one, it complements the second one we do, but we're gonna take it down a little bit and get out of the gross into the subtle. Um, and into more subtle sounds and sensations into our body. There was some shenanigans in number two. There's going to be less of that. And we're going to hold the poses for a little bit longer. Um, Goswami talks about kind of moving past um, the boredom, which I found challenging for me as a teacher because my goal is to entertain you. So I'm going to have a hard time not entertaining you and trying to help you move past the boredom. We're
Move
going to work on
into
it
the board
together. What I
pieces.
need from you is if you have two blocks handy, I think that will be helpful. And I also think a blanket could be helpful because we are keeping you in poses a little bit longer. So I think when we have support, that will help us be able to surrender into these poses a little bit more, and those supports will help the monkey mind feel at ease and not start running, ranting, and raving on you during this practice. So if you need to pause to get those items and come back and join us, we're so ready. But first, let's chant Om together. Sitting up nice and tall, hands at heart center. Deep breath in. Om. Om. I love beginning like this. Why? Because it helps you tune in to your own subtleties happening in your body. And coincidentally, that's what this is about. This sadhana practice and essentially yoga. That's what yoga's all about. We've just sort of found the physical aspect of it more in the Western world, but ooh, the depths and the juice and the milk from the cow's udders is there. And Goswami delivers it. Yes, he does. So we're changing directions. Again, maybe there's aspects of the neck or the shoulders. Maybe there's little pauses. How do we tune into this time and space? Again, if we need to put that monkey that controls our thoughts into a drawer, closing that drawer. Maybe you need a padlock on that drawer. So you can be here now in this time and space. Good. Let's meet back at center. That nice broad collarbone. Sitting bones stay firm on the mat. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, folding, leading with the chest. The whole breath down. So while you're in this hold, I'd like to explain that Ujjayi breath, which is essentially breathing in through our nose. There's a pause and a retention and out through our nose. Keeping that rhythm the whole time through the class. I'm going to try to also be in that meditative breathing mode. called Ujjayi breath to transfer that energy also to you. One more smooth, steady breath in. Smooth, steady breath out. As we come back to center. Good. Just placing our hands behind us, just like this. Middle fingers are parallel to each other. We're going to put some weight on those hands, and then you're just going to lift your chest towards the sky. You could even put a little baby bend in the elbows. I'll turn to the side so give you a better little visual. So we're just lifting the chest. So almost maybe you're like this, and these are your lower ribs. See if your lower ribs can get closer to the ceiling. Sometimes that doesn't sound like crazy talk. Holding it. One more breath. Lengthening the front side of our bodies. And back to center. Good. We're going to change our feet. So whichever one is in front, put it on the back. As we got to undo our opposites. Find that balance. Yoga is all about balance. Yes, it is. As we come back to center, start that winding again. This quote from Goswami, there was a lot when I went through this and did it myself. And then the other day, this one really stood out to me and seemed like this was all we need to know. So he says, in this practice, and in the practice we're going to try to set you up for, is to allow and let the whole conscious mind drop. Then, at that time, the subconscious reveals the totality of your microcosm. I felt like that was the major mic drop. Major mic drop. So keep spinning around. I'm going to say it one more time, or if you don't like the winding, you don't have to. But one more time, this quote, let the whole conscious mind drop. Then, at that time, the subconscious reveals the totality of your microcosm. Yeah, it's deep. I feel like that's like a mic drop, right? A revelation is there. Good. So that's what we're going to try to tune into. Moving past the boredom. I'm going to try not to be that entertaining so we can be here now. Crown of the head towards the sky. Nice broad collarbones. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, folding. Nice and slow. The whole exhalation floating to the floor. Again, placing your hands wherever they feel comfortable. I do want your sitting bones smooth, firm on the mat. Hands can be here. Fists can stack on top of each other. Or maybe we're just right here. Maybe you're like, yeah, Kristen, I'm right here. And that is a happy place to be. Oh, Allison's dog is joining her. What a cutie little puppy. Good. We're just holding it. We love animals. We love all forms of consciousness. Yes, we do. And we're going to let our whole consciousness, the conscious mind, drop to move into our subconscious. One more breath. Good. Exhaling, coming back to center. Good. This is a subtle movement, but we're going to really do it. Exaggerated. Cat-cow usually is on all fours, and we did this probably the first, but we're going to do it seated. So it might look a little different and feel a little different. So if you want, and if you have a blanket handy, you could sit on that blanket just to lift your little sitting bones up if that feels more comfortable for you and gets your hips higher than your knees. And maybe I'll turn to the side so you can see this exaggerated movement. But we're going to inhale, lift the chest, and almost fold a little forward, gazing at the ceiling. And on the exhalation, we're going to round the back, chin to chest. Inhaling, arching the back, lifting the chest, gazing at the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding the back, chin to chest. So it's cat-cow seated. Couple more times at your own pace. And then we're going to hold them. Try to move past that boredom. Tune in to the breath. Tuning into the present moment. Good. Finding that arched back, shoulder blades squeezing together down the back. There's like maybe a couple inches hinging forward, gazing at the ceiling, holding it now. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. One more steady, smooth breath. Exhale, that slow, steady, full exhalation as we're rounding the back, chin to chest. Really exaggerating this. So I'm holding on to like my knees so I can really bring my belly button towards that back wall behind me. Holding it here, now. In through the nose, out through the nose. How long can we inhale for? How long exhale for? Good. Changing positions. So we're lifting the chest, elbows sort of squeezing towards the back room or to your low ribs. Lifting the chest, gazes towards the center, towards the ceiling. Holding it here, shoulders still. They might want to come up to your ears, but bring them away. They make crappy earrings. Holding it there. Maybe there's a couple breaths. Tuning into the subtleties. Exhale, rounding the back, chin to chest, chin to chest. I like these arms straight so you can really exaggerate this position. I'm going to share something. There's bandhas in yoga. And if this sounds tricky or confuses the mind or the monkey wants to come out of its cage, just bypass it and be right here. But there's 3 locks in yoga. There's one at the base, there's one at the belly, and there's one at the neck. So if you can imagine lifting, so maybe let's release center and feel a lift in the bottom. I won't spend that much time on this because it maybe needs more time, but we're going to see how this works out with this bit. Lifting from the base and then lifting from the belly where there's like a and then chin to chest. And then a release. Release of the chin, release of the belly, and releasing below. So below is like a lift, like a little lift. And then the belly is like a, and then chin to chest. So we're going to see if that doesn't agitate the mind when we move into this position. If it does, just forget I even mentioned it. Throw it out. Couple more, just like this. If you want to change your feet, one that was in back, put it in front, you can. Just a couple more, just like this, moving beyond the sensations, beyond the body sensations into a subtlety, gross sensations. Sorry, subtle, out of the gross. As we're lifting our chest on the inhalation, squeezing our shoulder blades together down the back. Exhaling, rounding the back, chin to chest. This is when you can do the lift, the bandha, maybe from the base, maybe from the belly, and then chin to chest. As we release, releasing before there's any agitation in the mind. Lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together down the back. Exhaling back into that position and see if those bandhas are suitable for your mind today. They may not be. No pressure. Releasing and lifting the chest, arching the back. Two more. You're doing great. How's the mind doing? Exhaling, really rounding the back, lifting from the base of the spine. Maybe there's that lovingly in my yoga classes. I say, I'm lovingly punching you in the stomach. Lovingly. And then chin to chest. Releasing one more, lifting the chest, gazing towards the ceiling, squeezing those shoulder blades together down the back. Exhaling, rounding the back last time. Maybe we're finding something of those bandhas. If not, no pressure. No pressure, no force. 2. 1. Releasing all of that. Oh, coming back to center. Excellent. Maybe we're releasing this blanket off to the side and we're going to find this pose. I call it a cheerleader pose because lots of cheerleaders do it. Good. So this leg is sort of out to the side. This one's in front of you. Almost just looking like a swastika in a way. Good. So I don't know if you can see that. Excellent. We're just going to do a little twist in the same, in the knee facing outward. Deep breath in. Exhaling, we're just twisting to one side. Coming back to center. Good. Now the fun part, we're going to change these knees. If you need assistance, place the hands on the floor. If you want funsies and see how that hip mobility is, see if you can do it without the hands on the mat. Good. And then gazing in that opposite knee, little twist. Coming back to center, your choice, hands on the floor or that, as we change to that other position, lengthening, twisting. Exhaling back, hands on the mat if you like, or changing to the other side with those little cheerleader legs as we're twisting towards that opposite knee. One more each side, coming back to center. We're still with the Ujjayi breath. How slow can you inhale? And how slow can you exhale? Releasing back, exhaling, coming back. Your choice if your hands are on the mat or not. Finding that twist. Exhale back to center. Good. We're going to just see how it feels to be into that cheerleader pose from here. And again, if you want hands here, you can, or even shifting back, pivoting on the feet to the other side. So it's a little less of a turn. So you could be here. Good. Look, Mom, no hands. Or you're like, no, I need hands. Hands here. We're just shifting back and then just moving the knees to one side. One more breath. Exhale to the other side. Oh, hip mobility is so important. One more each side. You're doing great. Back to center. Crossing the center line. Good. And maybe they're right here also. No problem. No problem. No trophies if you hit the floor. One more. Exhale back beyond the center to the other side. Good. And back to center. Releasing these feet. And come onto your belly. However you want. However feels good today. Good, so we're on our bellies. And we're gonna go into this sphinx of baby cobra. So my forearms or my elbows are gonna be bent. I'm gonna be on my forearms. Middle fingers are parallel to each other. There's this slight movement of your shoulder blades squeezing together and down your back. How about your booty? Tighten it. Squeeze it together. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, gazing at the ceiling. Gazing at the ceiling. As we tune into this Ujjayi breath, yes, you'll be here for a minute or so. I'm going to try not to bore you, but also we want to move beyond the boredness, beyond the boredom of the mind. Let me reiterate Goswami's beautiful quote in this third series of the New Awareness. Let the whole conscious mind drop. Then, at that time, the subconscious reveals the totality of your microcosm. Simmer on that. 10 more seconds. Be pressing your fingertips into the mat. Observing that sensation, how the mat feels under those 10 pads of your fingertips. How does it feel to press the tops of your feet into the mat? Or your thighs resting on the floor? How does your low back feel? Maybe we even want to direct our breath, our energy, our prana, some good vibrations to any parts of our bodies that feel sticky or gooey, that need a little release. About 10 more seconds here. We're doing wonderful. In through the nose, out through the nose. How present can we be in this time and space? Good. And go ahead, release your torso towards the floor. Releasing these arms, bending these knees. A funny little non-yogic movement, but you're just gonna maybe shift to the side like this. So I'm just bringing my knees to the one side. Good. You're gonna see how that feels on the other side. One more time, each side. With the breath. So I'm exhaling, inhaling again, and then when I do that movement, I'm exhaling. Good, and you're gonna release on your back. so you can float around to your back. Yes, playing almost, enjoying this play. So we're on our low backs. Good. So you have options. I'm gonna keep my head lifted and it's gonna activate my core. And I'm gonna bring my knee into my chest like this, nose into the knee. If there's any tension in your neck or chest, just keep this whole situation back on the floor. It's less of an ab workout, but you decide where it is today. So we can either be here or here. Deep breath, right knee into the chest, maybe nose to the knee. Still breathing. We didn't hold our breath here. No, we did not. We're expanding the belly. Can we feel the belly expand even in this pose, holding it? How does that feel? A nice, steady, smooth exhalation. One more. Good. Release your head. Release that right leg. Left leg into the chest. Your choice, if there's any neck pain, you're keeping your head on the floor. Otherwise, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lifting the head, nose in the direction of the knee. Feeling the belly expand and contract here, bringing in more subtle internal sensations. And releasing down. Good. How about hands behind your back? Interlace these fingers. That creates a lovely little pillow for you. Bring your knees into the chest. Good. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, knees to the right side. This is when, oh, sorry, I should have informed you. If you need a block, you can always put a block under that right thigh if you need, if they don't go to the floor. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. No trophies. Good. If that block is painful, you can always put a blanket over that block. That will soften it. But we're here, shoulders make horrible, horrible earrings. Still finding that idea of squeezing shoulder blades together down your back. In through the nose, out through the nose. Good. Bring your chin back to center if it isn't already. Taking another breath. Bringing these knees back to center. Good. You can take this block. If you love that block, put it on the other side. Deep breath. You can even place 2 blocks if you feel like less is more for you today. Deep breath. Exhaling, releasing these legs to maybe the block, maybe the floor. Finding that subtle twist, bringing that opposite shoulder back on the mat. You can gaze slightly in the opposite direction of the knee. Again, we're still connected to that Ujjayi breath. Maybe these exhalations allows you to surrender, to release a little further, holding it, not the breath. About 10 more seconds here. Softening Good. Deep breath in. Chin back to center if it isn't already. Exhaling these knees back to center, releasing these hands from the behind your head and feet back to the floor. Good. And now that we have this handy dandy block near us, we're gonna move this and it's like a supported fish pose, and it's good to kind of open up the chest. So we're gonna take this block, and maybe that's not anatomically correct. It's good to create more stretch in the front body. Good. We're gonna take this block and put it kind of where your bra strap might be or your middle upper back. So here I have this block. I'm just gonna slide it on in. Good. Sorry, I crossed my legs thinking I'm relaxed. I am very relaxed. I hope you are relaxed. Good. And we're gonna lovingly release back onto this block. Good. The crown of the head or the back of the head releases towards the mat, and then squeeze these shoulder blades together down the back, palms facing up. We are hanging out here together. If you have sort of vertigo or maybe tinnitus, this may not be a pose for you, but you could put the other block actually under your head if you felt dizzy or disorientated or just not comfortable in this pose. I'll give you the option of what that looks like here. Otherwise, there's no block, and we're just feeling the expansiveness of the chest. After this, we have our little pranayama. Moving then into our shavasana, and hopefully then you moving into that third sadhana. One more breath. Good. You can bend these knees, use the support of your forearms to then lift up a little bit to release this block and come to some sort of seated position. And if you really love that pose, you are welcome to pause at any time and stay in a pose longer. Blocks. 2 of them. You could sit on your blanket if that feels comfortable for you. And really, it's just to stop this from happening. So sitting on the blanket will help sort of lift this. So you decide how that is today, what that looks like. We're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together and place these blocks under our knees. Good. You're going to get to know yourself a little bit better and lift your undeveloped muscle from that pillow, getting your sitting bones firm on the mat, and then finding where these blocks will support the knees. You have choices. Yes, you do. So many choices. Okay, maybe only 2 or 3, but still choices. Good. You're finding those blocks. How about hands on your ankles? Give me your best superhero chest. So just squeezing these shoulder blades together down your back, lifting your sternum towards the sky, holding it here. Finding the breath. How long can you inhale for? How long can you exhale for? Two more, just like that. Almost listening to the sound of your breath. the subtleties, maybe air striking the nostrils or the sound of the breath as it exits. One more, being present. Good. Release your hands. Place them on the outside of your knees lovingly. Bring these knees together, shifting these blocks off to the side. Good. Come to a comfortable seated position. I think still on that little blanket or pillow is helpful. Excellent. This pranayama, but it's also a meditative technique, and I thought it was a perfect complementary practice for Goswami's third part of more subtle awareness in the sights and sounds. So we're sitting in any comfortable position. You could even, I guess, be in a chair if you prefer. And this is called a yoni pranayam, yoni mudra, bada yoni mudra. There's a couple names for it. We're just going to close off our senses to really bring in internal awareness. So thumbs, so arms up, elbows out, thumbs in your ear. Good. Pointers by your eyes. Your ring fingers, sorry, not your ring fingers, your middle fingers are going to close off your nostrils. Maybe I come a little closer too. The ring finger is going to go on the top of your lip and baby pinky on the bottom of your lip. Maybe let me come closer. You can see how awesome this mudra looks. So we're here, this. Good. So now you notice you can't breathe when you close off your nostrils. We need you to breathe. Yeah. So open just subtly. You're just going to release and then come back. So we're going to be like this for a minute. You're going to allow yourself to breathe. The breath's going to breathe itself. So when you have to release your middle fingers so that you can let air in and close them. I'm going to come up maybe here, sit up a little closer by you so you can get the visual. And just give you instructions. And after this, we're just moving into Shavasana. If you like this, you can stay in this pranayama for longer. Again, its pseudonym is womb. So think about, you're closing off everything and going back into the womb. And there, you may be able to hear more subtle sounds, subtle sensations, which is working in the direction of samadhi. All right, so elbows out, thumbs in your ear, pointers, index by your eyes, very softly. We're not pressing on our eyes. We want to give them love also. Middle finger by your nose, ring finger by the top of your lip, pinky by the bottom of your lip. It's awfully hard to talk in this, but I'm going to do my best. We're going to inhale. Closing off everything. Closing off the nose, the ears, the mouth. You're holding it until you count before there's tension. And you're just going to slowly or softly move those middle fingers. Allow the exhalation to come back out the nostrils. Good. Let's do it a couple times together. Maybe I'll explain one more time. So we're inhaling through the nostrils. We're going to close off the nostrils. Plugging up the ears, the eyes, the mouth, holding it with the breath inside of us. Maybe we're tuning in. Maybe we're hearing subtle sounds now. And then we're just slightly lifting the middle fingers to allow that exhalation to come out. Good. Do this at your own pace for the next minute. And if it's really enjoyable, pause it. Do it for longer. You can even stay here with the elbows. If your biceps are getting tired, you can always rest your elbows on your knees. So actually, I'll show you this little position. If you were to do this longer, you could do it like this. So for now, pick whichever position you want, and let's do it for just one more minute. Not even 30 more seconds. Release everything as we make our way into Shavasana from here. So I'll show you again. Your choices for Shavasana will look like this on the floor. Arms out to the side, palms facing up. If there's any back pain, again, that reconstructive rest pose is an option, which I'll show you on the floor. Feet are greater than hip width distance apart, knees resting on each other, releasing all the way down, palms facing up. You can even place your hands on your belly. If you like that idea of hearing and feeling the breath coming in and out, we're moving. Yes, you can even cuddle up with a blanket if you like. As we move into this Shavasana together. Again, starting at the feet as we sweep this energy up to the top of our head. But let's soften your toes, your ankles, your shins, your calves, your strong, stable, healthy, healthy, healthy knees. To your quadriceps, to your hamstring, to the sensation of the back body melting into the mat. To the belly. rise and fall of the breath. Like a wave coming in to shore and moving out to sea. Witnessing cyclical movement of the breath and bringing your awareness any subtle sounds, sensations in the body. As we allow that energy to move up our torso, allowing any tension to release from our biceps, triceps, elbows, wrists, fingertips. Bringing that energy up to your head and face, softening tension in your jaw, your teeth, allowing your lips to part, softening your eyes, your forehead, and bringing your awareness to the space in between your eyebrows and the very top of your head. We're swirling the energy within that space, just here, bringing all of your awareness from your feet, pelvis, the belly, the shoulders, all the way to the top of our head, where we are here in the present moment for the next 30 seconds together. I'd like you to wiggle your fingers and your toes, coming back into the body. Yes. Rolling to your right side, bringing your knees to your chest. Using the strength of your arms, slowly sitting yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Thank so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you for sharing the third part of this beautiful series from Goswami Kriyananda. And I hope that this prepares you for the third series of your new awareness and deepen your sadhana practice. Deepest namaste.
Namaste.
How do you feel, Miss Allison?
You know, there's something to that, the notion of being willing to move past the boredom. I was focusing or just letting that swirl around and how much the thought that came to my mind is boredom is almost like this electric fence that we're so afraid to get up close to. We will do anything to avoid it. You know, we will eat something to avoid it. We will exactly screen anything. And yet right. Um, and yet I think about my children and the times when, like during COVID, or, you know, the times when they have been forced to be bored. Once they've been given the gift to work through that, they come up with the most brilliant things on the other side of that boredom. It's part of why I love taking them. We don't do it as often as I'd like, but I really believe in getting them out in nature, taking them camping, giving them the gift of forced boredom. And um, and I think that's part of the gift, the practice that this lesson is teaching us. And you know, we're like the dogs that don't want to get close to that electric fence, but little do we know, if we will just tolerate the discomfort for this long, on the other side is brilliance. I have a dear friend whose teacher told her, she was sharing with me recently, um, the answer is you have to get still enough to hear the space between the heartbeats.
Yes.
There's nothing bored about that. but you got to get past the electric fence.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like, right, we mentioned Goswami's he has this saying, running, ranting, and raving. And right, it's like getting past that to then experience the boredom and move beyond the boredom. And when I first went to India, I mean, American culture is really go, 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 go. And there were several times in India where the power would go out for hours and you'd have some candles. And I remember being like, geez, I'm so bored. There's nothing to do. And this is what they do every day. The power goes out. And then after the softening, then there's an enjoyment. After the agitation of I'm bored, I should be doing something, I'm not productive, I'm not whatever issues in your brain, and move past that, magic does happen.
And is we just so get in our own way because we hate it, we're tired of it. That's why many of us are engaging in this course, in this series. We want to break free, and yet we're so afraid to break free. So anyhow, thank you for leading us in this. It was a very gentle way to coax us to the other side of the fence. And so thank you. And I look forward to practicing this week with it.